Hey guys, it's Anea. Welcome to your TarotScope for the week of July 21st, 2019. I hope you guys are surviving out there. We are in the middle of a retrograde orgy in the sky, plus with all that delicious eclipse action. So I hope all of you are doing well and holding it together. I personally feel like it's not too bad. Dreams have been intense, but I feel like I'm learning a lot. So that's probably a good thing, right? Right. So let's see what the cards have in store this week for all of you. Let's get into it. Aries, your card of the week is Death. Woo, yeah. This is a great card. And this is really insightful, right? When we actually look at death itself in a positive manner. In our Western culture right now, we are very fearful of death, right? We don't know what's going to happen, so we think it's unknown. Therefore, we must be scared of it. But in actuality, the tarot tells us that death is not that bad. It's actually a state of transformation. You're going from one thing to another. And now, granted, there is a dissolution of form that happens with the death card, right? You have to let go of the things that are no longer serving you. They have to slough off like decayed matter. It's a part of a life cycle, right? Everything that is born will sometimes go through the aging process, sometimes, always, go through the process of aging and reach its point of completion where it's time to let go and dissolve and change into something else. Even if, say, you don't subscribe to anything happening in the afterlife, your physical body will die, but what happens to it? It doesn't just poof. Its atoms don't just disappear. No, if you're awesome enough to be put back into the earth somehow, you become the soil, which gets nutrients into trees and plants and other good things. So then your atoms go up into the trees and those get eaten by other animals, which then in turn get eaten by other animals. And you see where I'm going with this, right? So Aries, think about how you attach yourselves to the cycles that are going on around you. Now you're in a time where things are going to dissolve and kind of decompose and slough off of you. So let that go. Let that happen. Let that release take its place, because if you do, you're going to see some transformation come through for you. And it's really good. This is regenerative, okay? And don't get me wrong, it may be a little painful to let those things go, and that's totally okay. That is part of the process, and that's fine. That's all right. It's where you need to be right now. So learn from that letting go and that disillusion that comes with it. And by disillusion, I mean dissolve, not disillusioned. We'll get to that with Pisces, right? Right. All the wacky retrograde energy for you, Aries, should be about how you are going to change and transmute yourself into your next form. I'm not sweating, you're sweating. Woo! It's hot in here. Taurus, your card of the week is the Ten of Wands, and the key word for this card is growth. So tens are the completion of number in the minor arcana. It's where you have gone through this whole process of going from the ace to the 10, and you've learned a lot, you've grown a lot, and that's what's going on for you, Taurus, is you have learned a lot spiritually, because wands are spiritual and creative principles. So you have learned a lot about yourself recently, and now you're feeling like, I'm growing and expanding into myself in this aspect of your life. You're coming into it. You're feeling it out, and you feel that growth and that expansion that comes with it. So yes, things have this glorious sense of completion. You really have a good, solid understanding of who you are spiritually, and that's good. But it's the 10. The whole court's still coming, right? So you actually haven't reached the end of the cycle yet. You're close to the end, where you've got most things figured out, and that's a beautiful place to be. But you have a choice to make, is whether or not you're going to actually take a step further. Are you going to go beyond this place where you're at right now? Because right now it's probably feeling comfortable and it's feeling good. But are you ready to take the bigger step to advance beyond where you are at right now? And with all this retrograde action happening up in here, you may find that to be a pretty challenging thing. Why would the retrograde season be a great time to do anything except for lay in bed, Taurus? I feel you. I understand where you're coming from. But even though retrogrades pull on us and backwards and things seem to fall out of cycle, I think for you guys, it's actually about time to take the leap. So ask yourselves, in terms of your spiritual realm, what have you been saying? I'm going to keep that on the fringes. I don't know if I'm ready to take that step yet. I don't know if I'm ready to make that kind of commitment or take that kind of risk. I think, Taurus, you're going to find that either now is the time to take that risk, or it's time to go lay down until the retrograde's over. Gemini, your card of the week is the Five of Crystals. Negativity. Ouch. So crystals, we're dealing with your mental realm. We're dealing with your headspace. So you're probably going through some negative thought processes right now. You're probably doing some negative self-talk. Stop that shit, Gemini. It ain't good for nobody. Tell your evil twin to sit the fuck down. You don't need that right now. You've probably started to explore an idea and trying to figure it out and see how you would apply it in the real world. And up has come somebody with a harsh critique of what that thought is. And they've given you some pretty harsh feedback. And that's kind of sent you for a loop. You're doubting yourself. You're not sure if this is what you should be doing, even though you were pretty darn certain it was right. You were pretty sure it was a solid thing. But now people have told you, you straight up tripping, boo. So how do you get back on from this? Well, know that what they're talking about is an external force that is coming up against this thought that you've had, this idea that you've had. These external forces are outside of your control. So you cannot do anything to stop them from interfering with your thought process. However, you can learn to adapt to their presence. And that's one thing that we have to do when we're in the marketplace of ideas is once our idea that we think is great and awesome, and we say, hey, everybody, look at this great idea I have. Oh my God. And people go, nah, dude, you can't, it doesn't work because of this. It doesn't work because of that. This is crazy. This isn't even grounded in reality. And then you go, oh, poop. What do you do? What do you do from there? You take in that new information and you look at your thing and go, well, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I do have something off a little bit. How can I tweak this idea here? How can I tweak it there? So you can decide how negative you want the feedback to affect you personally and how you want to use it to catalyze the idea that you have and change it into something that's a little bit more viable. So Gemini, use that good old brain of yours, stretch and exercise, and refine your idea and clarify your thought, and you'll find that things will get better from here. Cancer, we are ending your season and making the transition into our good friends, the Leos. But for you this week, my dears, you are the knower, the sage of crystals. So this is about sharing big ideas, ideas that challenge the status quo. This is an Aquarius card. This is a Uranian card. So you're going to be challenging the conventional wisdom with what you have inside of you. So this is probably actually going to be something that upwells from your intuition. Your dream straight's probably been pretty darn crazy lately, hasn't it? I feel you on that. So take that deep upwelling of knowledge that's coming up from within you right now. And I feel like I've said this to you in a previous TarotScope. That deep well of knowledge, deep intuition you've got inside of your hearts. Be Albert Einsteinian about how you express it and throw it in the face of convention. Smack it down on the table and say, this is my big idea. And I don't care if it's idealistic, but let's see if we can flesh it out. Let's take it from being that ethereal dream, that ethereal vision, and make it practical, make it real. And when people say, you can't do that because of blah, 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 you say, sit down and shut up. Have a seat. I'm about to tell you how. Show them the way. Show them the pathway to the big idea. Gemini in the corner may have a little bit of a hard time with it, but your idea is worth sharing. It's worth showing that clarity and that specificity of vision. Because let's face it, we live in a really cool world, right? But change, revolutionary change, starts at the fringes and works its way inward. So be out on the fringe. It may not be comfortable. It's usually not a place where everybody's hanging out at. It can be a little lonely sometimes. But gather that good information and then come back ready to slap it on the table of your community and see what happens from there. Leo, welcome to your season, my dear. I'm sure you're letting everybody know about it. And I, as a Leo moon and Leo rising, welcome this time of year. It's hot, it's sweaty as fuck, but we're into it. It's because you're hot. We're all hot. It's so good. But your card of the week is the Eight of Worlds. Change. So we're dealing with your physical, material realm this week. And with the 8, this means this is a time to be a bit consolidated. This is a time to pull back a little bit, see what you've got in terms of resources, and order them, prioritize them, get them in the correct sequence of how you want them to flow, how you want them to function, and try not to add anything new right now. 8 cards, I wouldn't say are really about doing anything new or different. They are really about pulling in and reordering, restructuring everything that you've got going on around you right now. So don't make any new investments. Don't make major financial changes this week. Just keep things in order and make sure that the priority is there and is set in a way that makes sense for you. Now also, I don't know why everybody's coming up with change cards. You and Aries are in transition right now. There is a song by the band Pussifer called Mama Said, and the lyrics go, for the chorus, changes come, keep your dignity, take the high road, take it like a man. Now before y'all freak the fuck out, calm down. You can still take it like a man and be a woman. It's not gendered, even though the wording is. Okay? But for you, Leo, that's what you need to do this week too, is maintain your dignity. Don't get caught up in petty squabbles that are going on at home. Be able to change and fluctuate with them, because change, as we know, are inescapable forces. So why do it like a sloppy hot mess when you can do it with pride and dignity and maintaining that Leo mane, right? Right. Rock it this week, Leo. Burn brightly into the beginning of your season. Virgo, your card of the week is the 6 of Wands, and the keyword for this is trust. Trust in what? The outside world? Hell no. Who wants to do that? This is about trust in yourself. And this is why in the traditional tarot we see this card associated with victory. Because when you have trust and faith in yourself, it's easy for you to carry yourself onwards to victorious places. I mean, nothing ever happens really positively anyways to people who are just going, oh God, life is just happening to me and it's just so mean and it's always letting me down and I'm such a victim, right? Like that mindset, that self-defeatist mindset that we can sometimes get caught in. And we know how neurotic you guys can be sometimes, Virgo. It's a Mercury thing. It's okay. Talk to the Gemini about it. Y'all should start a support club or something for each other. Having a deep sense of trust in yourself and in your own wisdom and your commitment to yourself and your path will carry you through almost anything that life can throw at you. So work things together so that way you have this sense of trust. And 6 cards are about getting things predictable, getting yourself flowing on a good cycle that you can account for the standard deviations of change around you, right? So feel that flow, that nice predictability that can come when you are secure in yourself, Virgo. So maybe this is a good week to go ahead and check in with your therapist or other mental health care professional and talk it out, or at least their really close friend who you know gives you sound advice. If you're feeling that lack of trust within yourself, ask somebody for a pep talk. It doesn't hurt to ask for what you need in life, guys. I'm just saying, for everybody who's listening at this point. If you need to have somebody help you with the process of having trust in yourself, ask for it. Because look at all these parachuter dudes right here. Do you think they can just do that without communicating to each other? Think they can do that without like a sense of connectivity to each other? A sense of, hey, let's figure this out before we jump out this damn plane? Same thing with those acrobats right there. Where are they at? They're right there. Here we go. Those acrobats. There's a sense of teamwork and collaboration in this card. So have the ultimate trust in yourself, but don't be afraid to have trust in others, because they do become self-enforcing. Sometimes we find our path to trust in ourselves through the trust that other people put in us. So reach out this week, Virgo. Put your hand out and see if someone is ready to take it. Libra, your card of the week is the Man of Wands. Wands. The keyword for this card is actor, which means quit being so fake. Just kidding. You guys know I'm just playing with you, but the actor is somebody who knows when it's appropriate to wear certain masks. Because let's be real, it happens regardless of us whether we want it to or not. We behave differently with different people. They get to experience different aspects of ourselves. So as the Man of Wands, this is about connecting to all of the different masks that you wear. And you can still be wearing a mask and displaying authenticity, behaving authentically. These two things, while it seems like maybe they shouldn't coexist, they can. Hence why when we watch an actor portraying a role that is not them, we can still feel a connection. You can tell when it's like good actors. You can't tell the difference, right? You wouldn't know who's who. They are so convincing with their display and their behavior and how they speak. So connect to your masks this week, Libra. See how you can still fulfill your role of whatever that might be, as the employee, as the dad, the mom, the partner, the brother, the sister, the auntie, the uncle, whatever you happen, whatever role that is, whatever it is. Are you still behaving authentically? Are you still communicating the trueness of yourself through that mask? You can, Libra. I have faith in you. Scorpios, my dear, I feel like these cards have been a bit rough on you. So last week, I believe you guys were the Magician. Yes. So this week, you have progressed on to the Ten of Worlds. Reward! Freaking sweet, right? Oh, must feel good. So hopefully you guys have manifested using that good magician energy, and it brought you something good. It brought you something rewarding. Yay! So enjoy that. Look at this pretty ass card. Look at all that stuff that's going on here. See, there's a lot of Jupiter focus. Oh, look at that. Look at all of that Jupiter action in there. So this is definitely a Jupiterian card. So be expansive in your sense of reward and enjoy. And this is like enjoying luxury, but in a way that you're open to others. You're expansive. You want to buy a round for everybody. Drinks on you for a round, right? That kind of energy. You want to treat everybody because you can feel this sense of expansiveness and gratitude for the fact that you've been able to make it to this point. Again, we're at tens. This is the sense of completion. So there is a little bit of a point in which you are perching upon. Do you go ahead and see if this reward can transition you into further depth and understanding in your physical realm? This is not just in terms of the resources that you have, but also in your home life. Think of where you actually store the majority of your possessions. It's in your house, your home. So this has a lot to do with home life as well, too. So enjoy that yummy, good reward sense. But be ready, because you may be called to gamble this sense of security for a much bigger payoff. Sagittarius, my dears, your card of the week is the Lovers. Get in it, get sexy this week, Sag, and that is not hard for you at all. I am married to a Sag Sun, Sag Moon, so let me tell you. This card is not just about love and sexuality, though, but it's also about divine love. So it's about the concept that even though things may be separate, they are still bound together by a law of unity, universal love. Love, that universal yummy, yummy, yum that connects us all to each other. And it's by loving the other that we also love ourselves, and vice versa. It's hard to love other people if you don't also love yourself. So, Sag, focus on that this week. In what ways do you love yourself? And how does that enable you to be a better person who shares their love with others? How does that flow work for you? And remember that it's part of a universal constant. It's part of a divine thing that brings us together, brings these separate pieces together into a unified thing. And the thing about the Lovers too is that this is also, because it's associated with sexuality, it's also associated with how the universe co-creates with itself. So you're bringing two things that are polarity together and something new, a wee babe of some kind. Maybe not a physical one. Not saying go crazy and impregnate everybody, Sagittarius, though I know y'all like to act like that's your game. Also, LOL, you Sagittarius may be able to appreciate this, but do you see? It's a waterfall coming out. Capricorn, my dears, your card of the week is the Eight of Wands, and this is the card of harmony. So recently you've probably been involved in some spiritual endeavors that you were experimenting with. You were trying to find out some new things to see what would work best for you, and you've done that experimentation. So now it's time to take stock of the things that you learned. Which practices are ones that are actually suited for you and which ones are not. Cast aside the one that don't and bring in the one that do, right? And you want to harmonize all of these things because you want them to flow and actually to work together. So maybe the things that you were experimenting with, you'll find actually don't really connect. You're a little too scattered all over the place. But we might find that as we're reaching out and trying out different rituals or different tools or different forms of divination, we're finding that maybe they come from different disciplines. Maybe they come from different parts of the earth. And while yes, we are one big human happy family, we sometimes find that certain traditions don't resonate with us as well. And sometimes particularly ones that connect us to our ancestral wisdom, actually work with us better. Not always, and it's up to everybody to decide what's best for them. So, Capricorn, decide what is best for you and what is going to keep your fire burning bright and flow and harmonize and make you sing with the universe. Aquarius, my darlings, your card of the week is fear. I feel like this was for somebody last week. Didn't I make a funny face? I think I made a funny face. I don't know. I've got a fish brain. So this is the Seven of Cups. So we're dealing with your emotions, Aquarius. Yes, you have them. You do. Hate to break it to you. So when we start to experiment with our emotions, because sevens are cards of experimentation, things can get a little hairy, especially if you're venturing into the unknown. Fear always pops up when we don't know what is going on. And remember, our emotions are very primordial. They're below the rational brain, using quotes there, okay? Not to say that it's lesser in any stretch of the means. But because they are lower, they're more primordial. They're more instinctual, and therefore they are much harder to control. And usually when we do try to exhibit control over them, it's not always a positive thing. It's not always beneficial. It's actually better to let our emotions work their way through rather than to bottle them up or to set them aside, right? Maybe you're afraid that your cup will runneth over or get knocketh over, like with this one right there. Look at that. It's spilling everywhere. You're gonna get sloppy. Oh God, everyone's gonna think you're crazy. That may be true, but the only way to go through fear is with the litany against fear. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that leads to total obliteration. I will face my fear. Let it pass over and through me. And when that fear has gone, I will turn my inner eye to see the path that fear has taken. There shall be nothing. Only I will remain. I know that was intense, Aquarius, but remember that. It's good to have something to use to help walk you through the dark path. Oh shit, everyone's gonna know I'm a nerd now. My fellow fishies, Pisces people, put your hands in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. We the hangman. Woo! We're the hangman this week, you guys. This is a Neptunian card. This is the Neptune card. Who we kidding here? So, this should be something we're fairly familiar with. Neptune is in retrograde right now, so this may be putting us into a very hung upside down, feeling a little like we are at the mercy of the heavens right now. I feel you. It may seem that the path before us right now is a little dark. It's a little constricted. It's a little binding. And it's a little like walking through a house of mirrors. It's really hard to know which way to go, and it feels kind of claustrophobic and all over you and sloppy and weird and gross. But that's okay. You want to know why? Because there's divine knowledge hidden inside of this upside down feeling. Odin, the All Daddy. We love him up in here. And Odin learned the secrets of the runes through hanging himself upside down from a tree, starving himself for 9 days and 9 nights, piercing himself with a spear and sacrificing himself to himself. So, come on, Pisces. Sacrifice. We're good at it. Too good at it, in fact. Through this passageway of sacrifice, can you gain some inner knowledge? Through all of this crazy weirdness, through sacrificing yourself to yourself, can you gain divine wisdom and insight and be able to see through the fog and the mirrors and the disillusion, oh, I'm using that word again, that surrounds you right now. I have faith in you. Use that dream state, because I know my dreams have been crazy. Look into your dreams. What are they saying about you right now? What are they telling you? What are they shouting out to you over and over and over again? Don't ignore that shit. It's bad juju if you ignore it. Find your way through the smoke and mirrors. All right, you guys, that is it for this week's TarotScope. I hope it finds each of you well. And please hold on for dear life while we make it through crazy retrograde orgy in the sky season. And say hello to Leo season. Treat all your Leos well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.